Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spanish 130 here at Benedict College. My name is Matthew Harrison, and I'm excited to be your Spanish instructor for this semester. So, Spanish 130 is elementary Spanish. It is designed for students who have absolutely no experience at all with Spanish. Maybe some of you guys took Spanish in high school, or maybe you're a little bit familiar, but this is for people who really have no experience or very, very little experience with studying Spanish. Our course is 100% online for the entire duration of the semester. From now all the way until the end, it will be totally online. This course is set up in an asynchronous format, and what that means is that you have the opportunity to log in and complete your assignments at any time you would like. There are specific due dates. Every week, your assignments are due by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. But there are no required class meetings, whether that's virtual or in person, either one. Everything is totally asynchronous. You'll have a video such as this that you get to watch each week, um, sort of going over the content and teaching you how to do things. And those videos, I think, will be very helpful to you. They're interactives. They're designed for you to pause and work out questions and practice saying things back and make sure that you're learning as you go. So I think those will be helpful to you. So our learning outcomes for this course, my goal is that I try in every language course that I teach to make sure that you are reading, writing, speaking, and listening in the target language. That is our goal, for you to develop those communication skills throughout the semester. Um, you'll show those in a variety of ways. Sometimes you'll be recognizing vocabulary. In other ways, you'll be creating sentences in Spanish, whether that be orally or in writing. We'll do lots of different things. You'll get to learn about culture of Hispanic countries. It's a pretty fun course. That being said, there is no textbook required for the class that you have to buy at least. We are using a textbook, and all of that can be found in the E360 site here. If you actually go under Learning Modules in our course, you will see here textbook, and I guess I should publish that so you can see it. That might be helpful. But as you click on textbook here, it gives you links for PDFs to the Avancemos textbook, and they're all here. You just click on File, and you can download them and upload. And quickly, I save them as PDFs, so it should be helpful for you. You won't have to download anything to your computer. You just pull them up and scroll through the chapter. And I do go through these in the videos with you. So as you're watching the video, we'll kind of be going through the pages together. So that's where you find your book, back over there. You do need to make sure that you have access to E360. That's super important. And I provided a little translation website here. In this course, in Spanish courses, Google Translate and SpanishDictionary.com and all of those things are considered to be plagiarism and cheating, so you're not allowed to use those. This is the only dictionary I want you to use for our course. It's wordreference.com. It's super helpful because word reference is cool. As you study Spanish, there are different words they use in different countries. So for example, if we type in the word pen here, P-E-N, it will show you the different words for pen used all throughout the United States and in other countries as well. So some countries use the word pluma. Others use bolígrafo, so on and so forth. So it's important that you're using these so you can just kind of get a feel for how that works. This is the website I'd like for you to use anytime you need to look up a word you don't know. All right, obviously in an online course, you do need to have use of a computer or a laptop. Please don't attempt just to use your phone. Some of the activities and things we'll be doing just don't tend to work very well on a phone, so please make sure that you are using a real computer. You do need to make sure that you have the ability to record yourself, both your face and your audio. We're going to use a program called Flipgrid, which is sort of similar to Snapchat, if you're familiar with Snapchat, and we'll be practicing your speaking skills that way. So it's just going to be helpful. If you have a smartphone, it'll come in handy for that. There's a Flipgrid app, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. Do make sure you have reliable internet access, and that means maybe you need to go to a cafe, to Starbucks, and work on your stuff, or whatever it might be, or maybe you have Wi-Fi at home, hopefully. Our course is set up so that everything will be available to you on Monday, and you just have to turn it in by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So if you are in a situation where you need to go to Starbucks to access your assignments, you can totally do that. That's helpful. Make sure you have Chrome downloaded. That's usually the best browser for everything that we do. Firefox might be helpful, but definitely Chrome. You want to have the ability to access all those Microsoft Word programs, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, so on and so forth. Access to your Benedict College email. and to Adobe for downloading those PDFs. Coming into this class, I sort of expect you to already know how to use E360. Hopefully you know how to attach things to emails, how to submit files in E360, how to copy and paste things, and how to use speakers and headphones. Most of you guys are pretty technically savvy. I think you probably know how to do those, but just making sure. Again, this course is 100% online. There are no required class meetings of any kind. So make sure you know that. That being said, I do hold office hours, and I'll talk to you more about that in a minute. So if you have a question, we can totally talk together, but there are no required meetings for our class. Every week, you're going to be kind of doing the same thing. You're going to read one chapter in our Avancemos textbook, and again, those chapters are posted for you here under the textbook learning module. I lost my tab. Here we go. After you look through the chapter, you're going to watch a pre-recorded video lecture that I've made for you that have little practice assignments integrated throughout for you to practice with the Spanish. After you've watched that YouTube video, you have some homework assignments, and I've put all of your homework in Google Forms, so you should be able to log into Google Forms and complete the homework. You do have unlimited attempts, so you can do it as many times as you need to in order to get the grade that you want. I would like for you to do it until you get at least an 80, but if you want to do it until you get 100, you're welcome to do that. So in addition to reading the chapter, watching the YouTube video, and doing your homework assignments in Google Forms, for each unit you also will have a writing assignment in Spanish where you have to answer a few short answer questions. And those are usually not too long. I usually give you about 10 questions, and they're for the whole unit. So every unit in our book covers 2 chapters. So for example, you'll do Unit 1, Lesson 1, and Unit 1, Lesson 2, and you'll have a Unit 1 writing assessment with those 10 questions. And it's usually pretty simple. You're welcome to practice your writing and email it to me to get non-graded feedback. If you want to do that, I'm happy to help you with that. You also have a speaking assessment for each unit as well, where you get to use the Flipgrid app to record yourself, and I strongly recommend going ahead and downloading that now. It's a free download. If you have a smartphone, it's Flipgrid. And if you don't have a smartphone, then you can always access it on the computer, but I think it's easier to use on your phone. Okay, and then at the end of each chapter, you also have a little exam, as well as a midterm and a final, just to make sure we see what you're learning. That being said, especially with a foreign language, it's important that you're participating in E360 daily. I will post announcements down here in the course announcements tab, so you'll be able to see that. I also usually email it to you for your convenience as well. So please make sure you're checking those, you're doing your assignments on time. Spanish is one of those subjects. If you get behind and you miss a week, you're probably going to fail the whole class because it builds kind of like math. You have to be doing well on those beginning assignments to get to the end, so it's important. People always ask me, well, Mr. Harrison, how much time should I devote to this class? You know, I want to do well. How much time do you recommend that I spend? I think no more than 3 to 5 hours per week, and that's a very generous number. Some people pick up on things really fast, and they may be able to do it in an hour and a half. Other people, it takes a little while. They have to practice more, so maybe they need the full 5 hours. But I think between 3 and 5 is usually a good estimate. Again, in a 100% online class, the fact that you are logging in and you are doing the assignments and practicing and watching the videos is so, so important. So if there's ever something you don't understand, please do reach out to me. I'm happy to help you with that. I will grade your assignments within 1 week and return them to you. So for example, for our first week, your assignments are due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. I will grade everything and have it back to you that following week during week 2, usually earlier in the week. So you'll get all that back to you with feedback. The grading scale we use, we have 90 to 100 as an A, 80 to 89 as a B, so on and so forth. Our grading scale, if you want to see the percentages devoted to each assignment, your homework takes up 40%, and that's a lot. I've devoted a lot to that just because homework is super, super important in terms of learning Spanish and making sure you're practicing every week and understanding those grammar structures. So it is big. The writing assessments that you have for each chapter are 10% of your grade, and the speaking assessments you have for each chapter are 10% of your grade. Everything else comes from chapter exams, the midterm, and the final. Okay, again, as I talked about before, your homework assignments always have to be completed by 11:59 p.m. These will all be done in Google Forms, and you want to make sure that you have all those turned in on time. You can do them unlimited times. The writing assessments, you're not allowed to use Google Translate for those. I want to see what you know, not what Google Translate knows. I would rather see you write a sentence that is horrible and get corrections on it than just translate it and get it wrong, okay? If you use a translation software, you will get a 0. Um, again, with these writing assignments, you have the option after you write them, if you want to email me a rough draft, I'll be glad to correct your errors and send it back to you, and then you can fix it and turn it in for real. So there's really no reason you shouldn't get 100 on these if you're doing that. The speaking assessments, those are a completion grade. So I just want to see that you're practicing your Spanish. I will comment back to you on your video. I'll actually reply to your video with another video and tell you hey, at the 7-second mark, you said hola and you should have said hola, and I'll give you feedback on that each week. So just make sure you're doing those. And then again, we'll have chapter exams, midterm exam, and final exam. The chapter exams will be administered via Google Forms, and then the midterm and final you will take on E360. And I'll give you study guides for all those so you have time to review. The rest of the syllabus just kind of talks about important things. The Student Success Center, if you need tutoring, there's a place you can go. Again, make sure you're doing your own work, you're not cheating. When you're online, make sure you're polite in your email. It would help me if you tell me which class you're in, SP 130- whatever. That way I know I don't get you confused with the classes. That just helps me. And yeah, so that covers our syllabus. Let's look at E360 here. When you first log in and you're into our course, you'll see something kind of like this. Over to the right, you see our syllabus. There's a link to that document we just went over. There's also a link to the course calendar. And in my opinion, this course calendar is the most important thing ever. So please click on the course calendar. It'll open up. This is our course. I've given you guys my email address. That is the best way to get in touch with me. I check my email religiously, and you'll always get a response within 24 to 48 hours. Honestly, guys, it's usually quicker than that. I try to give you a response the same day you send your email. I pretty much have my email on my phone in my hands at all times, and I'm happy to email you if you're struggling with an assignment or whatever. We can talk through it. And then, of course, if you have more questions, we can schedule an appointment to meet sometime on a Monday night or really any time that's convenient for you. We can schedule a time to meet and have a Zoom call to go through some of the questions you have. As I said, I will grade everything and get it back to you within 1 week. This calendar is important. I believe in following the calendar. If it is not on this course calendar this semester, it is not happening. This is everything all the way through November the 8th when our class ends. If I were you, I would go ahead and take your phone calendar or your paper calendar or whatever works for you and put all these assignments on there, all these due dates. On the left, it tells you what you're supposed to do. Get used to 360. Watch this video you're watching now. Read these pages in the chapter, not even the whole chapter, just these specific pages. Watch the video lecture, and I'll show you where to find that in a second, and study the Quizlet for your vocab. Aside from that, these are the homework assignments you have to do. Introduce yourself on Flipgrid so we can get to know you. Do these 4 homework assignments in Google Forms, and I'll show you where to find those. All that's due by August the 16th, which is Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Okay, and then you can go ahead and see what's due for the next week and put those dates in your calendar, and the next week, and the next week, and the next week. It just keeps going on and on and on. So hopefully this will be helpful to you to stay organized. Okay, so we talked about that. Here in our course, when you click on Learning Modules, you can see each week has been organized for you all the way to the end. Week 1 is the only one you can see right now along with the textbook. So let's go ahead and click on week 1. I want you all to be able to see what it looks like in here. Okay, I'm going to put this welcome video here so you'll have a link to that, but this tells you what to do. It tells you all of our learning objectives. This week I want you to read the syllabus. If you watch this video, you can check that off. Go ahead and put the dates from the course calendar in your phone calendar. We just looked at that calendar a second ago. Watch this video. Make sure you know how to work E360. And read these pages in Lección Preliminar in the chapter. Remember, if you don't know how to access the chapter, you can go here in the learning modules, and it says textbook. When you click on that, you'll be able to access that LP chapter there again. It's the first one that pops up. It's being slow for some reason. read those pages. Watch the YouTube video for the LP chapter. You only need to watch up until 56 minutes and 50 seconds. Guys, I try not to make these boring for you. I give you things so that you can pause and work problems out and things like that. I hope these are really helpful to you. It takes me about 10 hours to make one of these videos, so please watch it and try and do your best. Once you've watched the video, go ahead and study the Quizlet. There's a link to it here. Introduce yourself on Flipgrid. Flipgrid is the video discussion I was telling you about. It gives you some questions here you have to answer. ¿Cómo te llamas? What is your name? You're going to answer and say, me llamo, and your name. I've asked you, ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from? And you're going to answer with soy de, and where you're from. So for example, I would say, me llamo Matthew, soy de Tennessee. I've asked you, why are you here? ¿Por qué estás aquí? And you're going to answer and say, estoy aquí porque, and then you can finish that sentence in English. Estoy aquí porque I want to learn Spanish. Estoy aquí porque it's a requirement for graduation, etc. Tell us some fun things about yourself, what you do in your free time, what you like to do, and tell us why you think it might be important to study other languages and other cultures. And I've given you an example video here that you can watch as well to kind of see what to do. Okay, when you're ready, you just click on record a response or the little red button there. All right, as we keep looking here, when you're finished with that, you can go ahead and do these homework activities. These are hyperlinked. You just click on them. It takes you to the Google form. I want you to use your Benedict College email, please, so I know who you are. Please, please, please use your Benedict email, otherwise I won't know whose paper it is, so please use that. And it gives you some questions to answer, different things. These will make more sense once you watch the chapter. At the end, you click submit. It will give you instant feedback if you got them right or wrong, and then you get to go through and redo it if you need to. Okay, there are 4 of those for this week. They're relatively short. As always, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to email me here on my Benedict College email. And I've listed all these things for you here as well. Everything we talked about up here is listed down here under lesson content. You have a link to the chapter, a link to the Flipgrid, links to the homework, and just to check off what's coming up the next week. So, guys, that's what you're doing this week. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I look forward to getting to know you in the Flipgrids. Take care.